My best friend made me a bowl of pork rib soup. I immediately gave it to the homeless man downstairs, because just half an hour earlier, I saw a bullet comment, "Good girl, you must never eat anything Tang Yuchi gives you, she's cast a love spell, once you eat it, you'll become infatuated with the first person of the opposite sex you see." She had already arranged for her 55-year-old uncle who has HIV to come over. I personally watched the homeless man drink it before going back upstairs. At that moment, my best friend Tang Yuchi had just come out of the bathroom. The moment I saw the barrage of comments, I put laxatives in her drink. Only then would I have the chance to pour the rib soup into another bowl and give it to the homeless man downstairs. Is diarrhea medicine my revenge? My heart isn't that soft. Looking at the empty bowl in front of me, she flashed a sinister smile. Just as I was about to speak, I clutched my stomach. Ouch, it hurts so much, Yuchi. Hurry and get the package for me, the courier is already downstairs. With that, I rushed to the bathroom. That's right, making her fall in love with a homeless man is my true revenge, and he's not just any homeless man, he's one with an extreme personality. I'm not worried, she wasn't the first woman the homeless man saw, because when I delivered the spare rib soup, I told him I'd also bring him a wife. But you have to close your eyes first, wait until you smell a strong fragrance, then open them. Coincidentally, Tang Yuchi loves wearing heavily scented perfume, but one thing I didn't anticipate was that the homeless man actually had a moral coercion spell. It was originally meant to be cast on his older brother to morally manipulate him into providing support, but just before the curse could be cast, his brother got into a car accident. Since his other relatives looked down on him and wouldn't accept anything from him, the moral manipulation curse remained and used on him for 5 years. To thank me, he gave me this spell. In a daze, I heard the sound of the door being slammed shut. It was clear that Tang Yuchi was very reluctant, but she hadn't worked for years, and I covered all her living expenses. She had no choice but to run errands. I quietly peeked my head out the window. Before long, she arrived downstairs. With hands on her hips, she demanded, "Where's the package? Is Lin Shu and that bitch playing games with me?" As soon as the words fell, the homeless man rushed over and hugged her. "Are you the wife that kind person sent me? So beautiful, let me introduce myself, I'm Meng Jiaxu." Before she could react, he kissed her again. "Baby, I like you so much, if possible, let's consummate our marriage right now." That intense. I suspect there's no love spell in the pork rib soup, but aphrodisiacs. Otherwise, why would he make such a request right away? Watching Meng Jiaxu's action sent chills down my spine. If I hadn't seen the barrage of comments, then, it would mean I was with a 55-year-old man who has HIV. I can't imagine what kind of scene that was. Tang Yuchi's sharp scream interrupted my train of thought. "Who's your wife, you stinking beggar? Don't you dare call me that. Let me go, or I'll call the police." How could Meng Jiaxu be afraid? He even boldly slipped his hand inside her collar. Unfortunately, it was broad daylight, and people were bound to come and go. Sure enough, someone came to her rescue. I can't help but feel a bit disappointed, but it didn't matter. There would always be a dark and windy night. Meng Jia certainly wouldn't let her off so easily. 5 minutes later, she kicked the door open angrily. Seeing me leisurely watching TV only made her angrier. "It's all your fault, tricking me into thinking there was a package. I was almost ruined by that damned beggar." Luckily Brother Moy didn't see, otherwise as she spoke, she realized her slip of tongue and quickly covered her mouth. Though she left it unfinished, I could already guess what was on her mind. She likes Gumoy, but yesterday, Gumoy confessed his feelings to me. There's a high probability that she cast a love spell on me because Gumoy likes me, so she wanted to ruin me. But I don't understand, since she has the love obsession curse, she could just cast it directly on Gumoy. Why treat me like this? There must be something else I don't know about. Could it be that I unintentionally hurt her? I smiled faintly. "Brother Moy, but Gumoy told me that seeing you makes him sick. If he knew you called him that, wouldn't he vomit for a whole day and night?" This was the first time I spoke to her with sarcasm in my tone. She froze, then snapped back to reality and roared, "Lin Shuha, when did you become so sharp-tongued and mean? I'm your best friend. Aren't you afraid of hurting my feelings by saying such things?" Then she muttered under her breath, "Could this love-struck curse have side effects? Did it erase her sense of morality? She has such a vivid imagination. I didn't even drink her pork rib soup. How could there be side effects? It's not that I don't want to be good to her anymore. Since sincerity can't be exchanged for sincerity, then there's no need to keep giving it." She glared at me fiercely. "Don't give me any excuses. Just tell me, why did you trick me into picking up the package?" Now that I've been wronged, you must compensate me with 5 yuan for emotional distress. I remained calm in the face of her words. What evidence do you have that I lied to you? I have call records with the courier. If you want compensation for emotional distress, take it up with the courier company. His delay has nothing to do with me. It's true the courier did call, but the courier said there was a minor issue on the road and would be delayed by a few hours. I know she wouldn't dare, yet. She only dares to bully me. Instantly, she deflated, but I won't let it end here. I cast a cold glance at her. All I asked was for you to pick up the package. If you didn't get it, why take your anger out on me? If you feel wronged, you're free to leave. I won't stop you. As if she would ever leave. There's no one else in this world who would let her live rent-free and cater to her every whim like I do. Most importantly, her 55-year-old uncle hasn't arrived yet. What if the first person I see is a handsome guy with excellent character? Everything she did would be in vain. For this reason, she had no choice but to lower her stance. Shuha, don't be angry. I was wrong. It was that beggar who, I coldly interrupted. It takes two to tango. If you hadn't been so improper, wearing a skirt instead of cotton pants in winter, otherwise, why would he harass you and not someone else? It's not that I'm misogynistic, but these are words she once said to me. Today, I'm just returning them to her. That year, I was in my final year of high school, coming back from evening self-study. I was blocked by a drunk man in his 50s. If I hadn't learned Sonda, I probably wouldn't have escaped unharmed. The next day, I told her about the incident. Instead of showing concern for me, she asked what clothes I was wearing the night before. The moment she heard it was a dress, she pinned all the blame on me. Back then, I was too naive and didn't care about what she said. Looking back now, I realize she never had any genuine feelings for me from the start. I was foolish to value friendship so highly. You don't feel the pain until the stick hits your own back. Only when I humiliated her with the same words did she realize how devastating they could be, but she only thinks of her own grievances, never remembering she once treated me the same way. Lin Shuha, just as she was about to scold me, there was a knock at the door. Instantly, her furrowed brows relaxed. Without caring whether I was willing or not, she pulled me toward the door. Opening the door, what greeted our eyes was a man with a face full of pockmarks. After confirming I had seen the man, she trembled with excitement. It seemed she thought she had succeeded. After a while, she took my wrist and pointed at the man. Let me introduce you. This is my uncle, Tang Jiangwo. How about it? Handsome, right? Looks like an octopus. Where's the handsomeness in that? I wanted to ask if there was something wrong with her eyes and if she needed to visit an eye hospital. A few more footsteps sounded at the door again. Looking around, there were 3 people who looked quite similar to Tang Jiangwo. What's going on? The bullet comments only mentioned Tang Jiangwo was on his way, so why are there others? Seeing their wolfish eyes, it was clear none of them were good people. Just as I was about to show them the door, Tang Jiangwo pointed at me and asked Tang Yuqi, "Is this the person you introduced me to?" Seeing Tang Yuqi nod, he was quite satisfied. She's really good looking, and most importantly, still young, by the way. He then pointed to the 3 men behind him. These are all my brothers, also single for decades. I've been blessed with good fortune and love, naturally I should share it with them. He raised his eyebrows. Good niece, after this succeeds, I'll give you a 500 yuan matchmaking fee. No wonder he can't get a wife. With such behavior, which woman would be willing to marry him? No decent woman would want to be treated like public Wi-Fi. I'm no pushover. And just as I was clenching my fist to punch him in the face, suddenly, I changed my mind. I wanted to test Tang Yuqi to see if she still had a shred of conscience left. If there was any, this revenge would end here. If not, I forced myself to stay calm, then pretended to look shy. Yuqi, your uncle is so straightforward, but honestly, I like people who are this direct, so manly. I whispered in her ear, seriously, I want to be your aunt now. At first, she was a bit worried seeing so many people come. Now, hearing me say this, she immediately felt relieved. She patted my shoulder and said, as long as you like it, but if you want to be my aunt, you'll have to listen to my uncle. At the same time, she reached out her hand and said to Tang Jiangwo, give me the 500 yuan first. After all, you've done plenty of reneging on deals afterward. I overestimated her, so she really could bear to watch me being toyed with like an object. Deal. From now on, I won't hold back. I'll make her understand what true suffering means. Just as Tang Jiangwo was about to place his filthy hand on my face, I kicked him squarely between the legs. I might have used too much force. The pain left him sitting on the ground, unable to even crawl up. The other 3 also rushed ahead of me. but how could they, hollowed out by years of alcohol, be a match for me? Immediately, I granted them the same fate as Tang Jiangwo. I grabbed them like chickens and threw them out, slamming the door shut behind me. Tang Yuqi was stunned by the scene before her. Snapping out of it, she screamed at me at the top of her lungs, "Lin Shuhe, have you lost your mind? Doing this won't make my uncle like you. Go after my uncle before he gets too far, kneel down and apologize." For a moment, I wanted to strangle her, but killing someone means paying with your own life. I don't need to throw away my life for someone like her. Suddenly, a thought struck her, and she asked coldly, "Did you not drink the pork rib soup I made?" She finally became suspicious, but how could I possibly admit it? I pointed to the already empty bowl. "If I didn't drink it, then where did the soup go?" She frowned tightly. "Then why are you treating my uncle like this?" I spread my hands, looking helpless. "I do like Jiangwo, but I can't stand his friends." I actually meant to hit his friend, but accidentally hit him instead. "Yuqi, don't say anything, I'm really regretting it now. Call him back. As long as he can return, I'll immediately kneel and apologize." Hearing this, she breathed a sigh of relief. "Since you've treated me well, I'll help you one more time." "Help me, just afraid that long nights bring many dreams." With that, she dialed Tang Jiangwo's number, but I knew Tang Jiangwo wouldn't be able to come. I kicked him in the family jewels, and he couldn't even get it up. Naturally, there was no point in coming, just as expected. When she heard Tang Jiangwo say he'd come back tomorrow, she was so angry she nearly spat blood, but there was nothing she could do. She didn't have the power to drag Tang Jiangwo over by force. After hanging up the phone, she stormed back into the bedroom. I listened calmly to the heavy sound of the door slamming, a smirk curling at the corner of my lips. "Can't hold your temper already, just wait, there's more frustration coming your way." I kept her for two purposes. First, to cast a guilt-tripping spell on her. Second, I wanted to find out where she got that love-struck spell from, to prevent falling victim to her schemes again, because not every elderly woman I've helped would let me see the bullet comments. That's right, I can see bullet comments. It's a gift of gratitude from the elderly woman, but only once. I thought it would take a few more days to uncover Tang Yuqi's secret. Unexpectedly, at midnight that very night, I saw her conversing with a man dressed in a black robe in the living room. She was making quite a commotion. Even lying in the bedroom, I could hear her voice. Daring to be so brazen, she must have thought I'd drunk the water laced with sleeping pills. Little did she know, I no longer trusted her, much less would I drink anything she offered. Seeing the cat sleeping soundly in the corner, it was clear she had used a heavy dose. Recalling what happened during the day, she slammed the table angrily. "I'm furious. Not only did I fail to ruin that bitch's reputation today, but I also suffered her verbal insults. Xiao Gaohan, speak quickly. What other curse can make her wish she were dead? Making her fall in love with a bad man who has HIV isn't enough to vent the hatred in my heart." I peered through the crack in the door. Under the white light, her eyes gleamed like a demon from hell. The man named Xiao Gaohan appeared remarkably composed, as if he had long anticipated such a situation. With a sinister smile, he said, "Of course there is. Nothing in this world is more painful than losing your health yet still being alive. Is this going to take away my health?" However, Tang Yuqi was not satisfied. She frowned tightly. "I don't want this. She's already taken a liking to Tang Jiangwo, and it won't be long before she gets infected with HIV. That's enough to make her lose her health. I want the people she loves to die painfully one by one before her eyes. She's truly vicious. Wanting me dead is one thing, but dragging the people I love into it is another. My parents certainly didn't provoke her." Fortunately, Xiao Gaohan didn't agree with her. "You're mistaken. If that happens, the first to die would be Tang Jiangwo. What if she didn't get infected with HIV in time? Then wouldn't your efforts be in vain?" Xiao Gaohan curled the corner of his lips. "Don't underestimate my curse of lost health. Anyone under its spell will feel like they're being bitten by hundreds of millions of ants every single moment. The scariest part is, you won't even be able to die." As soon as she finished speaking, her eyes gleamed with excitement. "Really, give it to me now." Xiao Gaohan didn't take it out but started negotiating terms. "The health loss curse is much more complicated to make than the love obsession curse. Last time you exchanged 20 years of lifespan. This time, it'll cost 30 years. By the way, both curses work the same way. They can only be placed in porridge or soup. Be warned, one bite is enough to curse you, and there's no limit to how many can be affected. A human's lifespan is merely a few short decades. If she agrees to that, she ought to see a psychiatrist." I thought she would hesitate. To my surprise, she simply reached out her hand. Hand it over, for someone like me who can live to 118. What's a few more decades, 118 years old, good people die young, while bad people live long, but I wasn't sad at all, on the contrary, I was extremely happy. I wish she could live to be 1,000 years old, this way, the pain will linger with her longer. Xiao Gaohan first drained her lifespan before handing her a pale yellow talisman. I looked at the moral coercion curse in my hand. It was written on the same talisman paper. It seems that Meng Jiaxiu also made a deal with Xiao Gaohan. I couldn't help but wonder, just what kind of background this Xiao Gaohan had. There are so many supernatural things. The matter is almost coming to an end here. Just as I was about to lie down in bed to gather enough energy to face everything tomorrow, Xiao Gaohan's voice sounded again. Miss Tang, the bond between you and me has ended, and I have repaid the kindness of your great-grandfather. From now on, I won't look for you. And you shouldn't look for me either. By the way, let me remind you. Don't push things too far, or you'll face backlash. So it was out of gratitude that he helped Tang Yuqi. Wait, that doesn't seem right. If it's about repaying kindness, then why take away her lifespan? But then again, upon second thought, what does this have to do with me? Since the debt of gratitude has been repaid, Xiao Gaohan wouldn't bother with her anymore. This way, I can take my revenge without any restraint. Tang Yuqi. She'll never have a chance to turn things around. Early the next morning, I was awakened by urgent knocking at the door. I thought it was that shameless Tang Jiangwo who had come. Opening the door, I realized it was Meng Jiaxiu. I almost forgot, he's under a love spell. The obsess of him won't rest until he gets Tang Yuqi. He shoved me aside and couldn't wait to rush into Tang Yuqi's bedroom. Seeing Tang Yuqi open her eyes, he quickly pulled out a grimy lunchbox from his pocket. Sweetheart, these are steamed buns I found in the trash. I was afraid they'd get cold, so I kept them in this insulated box. Hurry and eat them while they're hot. Once you're full, you'll have the strength to exercise with me, then you can give birth to a child as beautiful as you. I'm dying of laughter. If she hadn't covered her mouth in time, Tang Yuqi would have definitely turned her gaze toward me. Only then did Tang Yuqi snap out of it, already irritable from waking up. She immediately threw the lunchbox into the trash, and roared. Who wants to have your baby? Get the hell out. Meng Jiaxiu thought she was just being playful and kissed her excitedly. Women are creatures who say one thing but mean another. The more you say you don't want to have a baby with me, the more it proves you actually do. Come here, my treasure, I'll cherish you well. With those words, he pinned her down onto the bed. As her clothes were about to be torn, she finally noticed me. Yet, instead of pleading, she actually threatened me. Lin Shuhe. Are you an idiot? What are you standing there for? Hurry up and drag this beggar out, otherwise, I'll tell uncle to never speak to you again. Really thinks she's the boss. Too bad she hasn't mastered moral blackmail yet. I'll just have to pretend to be threatened for now. Just as I was about to intervene, Meng Jiaxiu glared at me fiercely. My wife and I are flirting. What business does an outsider like you have interfering? Hurry up and get lost. Of course, he's no good either, otherwise. How could there be a curse of moral coercion? I rolled my eyes and whispered in his ear, you're such a straight guy, totally clueless about a girl's feelings. Yuqi, she's just shy and wants you to come tonight. He wanted to say more, but I cut him off. You should go along with her, otherwise, she'll really get angry and ignore you for life. With his love-struck mind, nothing scared him more than hearing his beloved might ignore him. He quickly nodded in agreement. Watching his retreating figure, Tang Yuqi finally let out a sigh of relief. However, she still didn't give me a friendly look. Lin Shuhe, are you out of your mind, letting a beggar in? What if something happens to me? Can you take responsibility? Ridiculous. The apartment is rented under my name, and she hasn't paid a single cent. Who do I let in? And she gets to decide. She stood with her hands on her hips. I'm hungry. Go make breakfast. It better be good, if I'm not satisfied. I'll tell uncle. Just when drowsiness hits, someone delivers a pillow. I was worried I wouldn't get a chance to cast the guilt-tripping spell. Today is Sunday, no need to go to work. If I want to eat a lavish meal, I've got plenty of time to cook. An hour later, I had simmered pork rib congee and prepared 3 hearty dishes. She's someone who always pushes her luck. Knowing that just hearing the name Tang Jiangwo would make me comply unconditionally, so she put on airs. If you want uncle to like you, you'll have to please me, serve me breakfast, and make sure to pick out all the bones. If I find even a speck of foreign matter, forget about becoming my aunt. To those in the know, it's like casting a love-struck spell. To the uninformed, it might seem like an obedience curse. Deal. Anyway, I've mixed cat poop and laxatives into all those dishes. Consider it feeding her cat feces. the most important thing was still the pork rib porridge, which carried the curse of emotional blackmail. Yet just as I brought the porridge to her lips, a knock sounded at the door. It was Tang Jiangwo who had arrived. Seeing me, he immediately blurted out, "You shrew, yesterday you injured me and my brothers. You must compensate us 100 yuan for emotional damages now." Damn, what the hell, I didn't call the police or sue him for illegal trespassing, that was my mercy, and yet, he has the audacity to turn around and blame me. 100 yuan, I'd say 100 hell banknotes sounds about right. If Tang Yuqi hadn't taken that sip of porridge, I would have punched him in the face. I took a deep breath, then gritted my teeth and held his wrist despite the disgust. "It's you, Jiangwo. I was so afraid you'd leave yesterday and not come back. You haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Come on, let's eat together." I blinked my eyes. "Once we're full, we can get down to business, not just 100. If you agree to marry me, I'll even work 5 jobs to support you, rather than being pestered by someone like him in the future. Might as well cast a moral guilt trip spell on him too. Perfect timing. He's surrounded by shady friends anyway, let them screw him over." Zhao Gaohan did say that taking just one bite could cast a curse, with no limit on the number of people. Hearing this, Tang Jiangwo immediately cooled down. He looked me up and down, then sat arrogantly at the dining table. Though serving 2 people was a bit tiring, but watching them take bite after bite of the food in front of them made all that exhaustion feel worth it. After the plates were left in disarray, the laxatives took effect, and their stomachs began to ache. Seeing them rush frantically to the restroom had me doubled over with laughter. It wasn't until the afternoon that things finally settled down a bit. At this moment, Tang Jiangwo was already restrained by moral considerations. Feeling it inappropriate to stay too long with the 2 girls, he left as soon as he felt slightly better. Tang Yuqi wanted to keep him and have him share a bed with her, but her moral standards were too high to voice such a request. After closing the door, Tang Yuqi's expression turned visibly displeased. "Shuha, don't you like my uncle? How can we let him leave like this?" I put away my smile, my face showing unprecedented seriousness. "Yuqi, to be honest, do you think Tang Jiangwo and I are a good match?" She stammered in reply, "Not worthy. He's old enough to be your father." Actually, she didn't want to say that, but couldn't help herself. I wanted to ask her, if there's no match, why insist on tying me to him, at this moment? An argument broke out from across the way. Listening carefully, I finally understood what was happening. Turns out, the tenant opposite had been constipated for days, causing their toilet to clog. Unclogging it would cost them 200 yuan, but she believed the root cause was the aging drainage system, and she wanted the landlord to take responsibility. This led to an argument. In the past, I would have pretended not to hear it, but today, I wanted to test how high Tang Yuqi's moral standards were. Would she really act just because of a little pressure? I smiled knowingly. "The toilet is clogged because the poop is too hard. Yuqi, if you're willing to break it apart with your hands, 1 flush will do the trick." Instantly, her face darkened to the extreme. She wanted to curse me, but her morals held her back. In the end, I could only softly squeeze out 1 sentence. "Shuha, this is too disgusting, I can't do it. How about I pay the 200 yuan? I raised an eyebrow. "Sure, but do you have it? Don't think I don't know. You don't even have 50 yuan on you." Seeing her hesitation, I placed my hand on her shoulder. "Remember when I worked late into the night, and you went out but forgot your keys? It was the young lady across the hall who took you in the bitter cold of winter. She was the one who brought you warmth. One must never forget kindness received. Now that she needs your help, you should lend a hand." As soon as the words were spoken, she nodded vigorously. "You're absolutely right. One must never forget their roots. Isn't it just about breaking up the poop? I'll do it." She actually agreed. After saying that, she rushed to the opposite side. Without hesitation, she reached her hand into the toilet. The 2 who were originally arguing immediately stopped. They widened their eyes, watching Tang Yuqi pinch and crumble it bit by bit with her fingers. Finally, the toilet was unclogged, but because of this, Tang Yuqi was covered in foul odor from head to toe. Her eyes were filled with tears, yet she insisted it was the right thing to do. From this, it can be concluded that her morality surpasses my expectations. She's practically a saint. Awesome, so awesome. The retribution that truly belongs to her has arrived. After she finished showering, I sat on the sofa. This was also the first time I saw her voluntarily go to cook. Watching her walk into the kitchen, I suddenly blurted out, "Since you've lost the health charm, are you planning to put it in the soup?" She froze, and after a long pause, replied, "No, not anymore. I believe her words. Now she is such a good person, I'm not even half as good as her. She walked step by step in front of me and asked softly, "How did you know about the health loss curse?" I smiled. "There's no need to tell you that. I'd rather ask you, why treat me this way? Is it simply because Gumoy likes me?" She wanted to escape, but I'd already morally cornered her. "We've known each other for 10 years, and you've been freeloading off me for 3 of them. Am I not even worthy of knowing the truth?" The next second, she cried out, "You are. It's because I envy you for having parents who love and care for you, while I've lived in dire circumstances since childhood. We're both women, with the same achievements and equally good looks. Why are you so much happier than me? Why does everyone like you?" So this is why she resents me, yet I kept accommodating her again and again, all because she lacked parental love. I let out a bitter laugh. "I thought I'd somehow hurt you unintentionally, but it turns out to be this kind of nonsense. I misjudged you." With those words, she suddenly knelt before me. "Shuha, I was wrong. Will you forgive me?" Forgiveness is impossible, because she hasn't been hit by the guilt-tripping curse. She won't admit her mistake. I crouched down in front of her. "If you want my forgiveness, fine, then cast the curse of lost health on yourself." She shook her head. "It will hurt." I couldn't help but burst into laughter. "So you know it hurts, yet you want to put it on me?" I took a deep breath. "Yuchi, considering how good I've been to you, why don't you cast this curse on yourself?" She was very reluctant, but still picked up the talisman and dissolved it into a clear broth sprinkled with just a few scallions. Then, she drank it all down in one go. The next second, she was clutching her chest, rolling on the ground in pain. Only after she had grown accustomed to the pain did she weakly say, "Now, can you forgive me?" At this point, revenge is almost meaningless. Whether forgiven or not, it's all the same. Just as I was about to ask her to get up, there was a knock at the door. I looked out the window and only then realized it was dark outside. It must be Meng Jiaxiu. Meng Jiaxiu has quite a temper. After just 30 seconds without opening the door, he roared, "Bitch, open the door now, or I'll kill you." "My dear Yuchi, your husband is here. Did you miss me?" "I'm exhausted after taking care of Tang Yuchi for 3 years. Since someone wants her, I'll gladly hand her over." In the past, she would have pushed me into danger without hesitation, but today, she stood up. "Shuha. From now on, I will protect you, as long as you remain unharmed. I'm willing to be with him." I thought it would take much persuasion. To everyone's surprise, she willingly jumped into this pit of fire. This emotional blackmail spell is too powerful. With that said, she went to open the door. Before Meng Jiaxiu could get angry, she threw herself into his arms. Meng Jiaxiu, who had been filled with anger, suddenly calmed down. Seeing her shy demeanor, he didn't hesitate to scoop her up into his arms. He was about to head toward the bedroom. At that moment, she stopped Meng Jiaxiu. "Honey, this is Shuha's rented place. I feel really bad about doing this here. How about we go to your place instead?" Meng Jiaxiu is a homeless man. Where would he have a home? But afraid of angering Tang Yuchi, he could only carry her to the bridge underpass. Watching their retreating figures, I curled the corners of my lips. It's not that I'm heartless, disregarding years of friendship, but if I don't fight back, this would be my fate. Without her presence at home, I feel much lighter. I no longer worry about her being bored at home alone. Don't even try to cater to her taste by making elaborate dishes. Just when I thought all future days would be spent like this. But that day after work, I saw Tang Yuchi waiting at the door. She didn't say a word, just sat straight down on the sofa until midnight. Her face darkened. "Lin Shuha, did you cast some moral guilt trip spell on me?" Actually, she wanted to call me a bitch, but her morals wouldn't allow it. I pursed my lips and smiled. These kinds of curses always come at the cost of one's lifespan. I'm not foolish enough to go that far, doing things that harm others without benefiting myself. She knew I was subtly mocking her. How could she not be angry? She wanted to argue with me like a shrew, but always found herself involuntarily lowering her voice. "If it weren't for Jiaxiu's slip of the tongue, I wouldn't have known you took his moral coercion curse." "Lin Shuha, do you know how miserable my life has been these past 2 weeks? I've been eating scraps from trash bins, covering myself with clothes dug up from graves. What's even more agonizing is the constant physical pain I endure every moment. I want to die, but some supernatural force always stops me." And then, I raised an eyebrow. "What does that have to do with me? Weren't you thrilled when you cast that love spell on me? What are you so upset about now? You could have had a good life, but you ruined it with your own hands." She froze. "You know about the love addiction curse too?" Snapping out of it, she said, "So, you've known all along, haven't you?" I didn't deny it. the spare rib soup you made. Meng Jiaxiu said it was delicious. To thank me, he gave me the moral guilt trip curse. She was so angry she was almost in tears. Yet I didn't even have the chance to make her cry. What about you? If it weren't for my good luck, and the coincidence of seeing those bullet comments, I would have given myself to Tang Jiangwo, and he has HIV. Hearing this, she showed a very complicated expression. After a long while, she finally managed to utter a sentence from her throat. Zhao Gaohan, where are you? Come and save me quickly. Just as I thought Zhao Gaohan wouldn't come again, as he had said before, to my surprise, he appeared right in front of me the next second. What's going on? Didn't he say that after repaying the favor, he wouldn't have any more dealings with Tang Yuqi? What does this mean? I couldn't help but feel very flustered. Given Tang Yuqi's temperament, she might very well use her remaining lifespan to take me down with her. Great, I thought you wouldn't come. Tang Yuqi grew increasingly excited. Hurry, and undo the moral binding curse for me. Only after the curse is lifted can I speak freely. As Zhao Gaohan raised his hand, I thought to myself, it's over. This time it's really over. Unexpectedly, he pointed at the center of my forehead. The next second, two glowing red objects landed on me. He said solemnly, the luck spell, along with Tang Yuqi's 50 years of lifespan, are yours now. You will not only live a long life, but also overcome any danger you encounter. What's going on? He actually helped me, but I never agreed to make a deal with him. Tang Yuqi was even more confused than I was. She screamed, Zhao Gaohan, what do you mean by this? Is this how you repay my great-grandfather's life-saving grace? The next second, I heard the crisp sound of a slap. It was Zhao Gaohan who hit her. Zhao Gaohan said coldly, you can fool yourself with such things, but do you really think I'm stupid? I'm someone who has lived for 130 years. Your little tricks can't deceive me. 130 years old. He looks about 30 to me. He took a tiger tooth from his pocket and placed it in my hand. Silly child, this is what your great-grandfather left for you. Keep it safe, don't let those with ill intentions take it away. No wonder I couldn't find the tiger tooth for the past month. If I'm not mistaken, it was stolen by Tang Yuqi. From Zhao Gaohan's account, I finally learned the origin of this tiger tooth. 90 years ago, he accidentally got lost in the mountains. He almost ended up in the belly of the fierce tiger. It was his great-grandfather who saved him by shooting out one of the tiger's teeth with a large slingshot. He was rescued. He witnessed his great-grandfather pick up the tiger's tooth and give it to his grandfather as a toy. Later, he was taken in by the 8th pawn shop. Unfortunately, despite his eagerness to repay the kindness, he could never find his great-grandfather again. It was only later that he learned his great-grandfather had shed his blood on the battlefield. It wasn't until a month ago, when he saw that tiger tooth, that he decided to repay this debt of gratitude to his descendants. Actually, Tang Yuqi stole my tiger tooth not because she knew any secret, but because I often held it in my palm, and she thought it was valuable. Unfortunately, her plan backfired. She asked many pawn shops, but they all drove her away thinking she was crazy. After the last unsuccessful pawn attempt, she was about to throw it away. Zhao Gaohan appeared. I looked at Zhao Gaohan puzzled. How do you know she's not the real owner of Huya? He chuckled lightly. Instinct. I guessed it when she traded her lifespan for that love-struck curse. Ginger is indeed spicier when it's old. I couldn't help but admire her utterly and completely. Suddenly, a thought struck me. What about the barrage comments and the old lady? Could it be? He nodded. That's right. I deliberately disguised myself to get close to you, then let you accidentally discover the truth. No wonder everything went so smoothly. So he had been helping me behind the scenes all along. Now Tang Yuqi was completely shattered. She wanted to roar in anger, but was utterly powerless. Yet, worse was still to come. Zhao Gaohan said, in truth, your actual lifespan is 148 years. Because in your past life, you were a great benefactor, destined to come into a fortune at age 25, ensuring a life of peace and comfort. But all of this was changed by your jealousy, getting rich at 25, then it's just 2 months away. She's really in a hurry, can't even wait those 2 months. She knelt down, begging Zhao Gaohan to return her peaceful life, but Zhao Gaohan only gave her a meaningful glance before vanishing. Knowing she couldn't change fate, she could only slink away in defeat. I can't imagine how painful it must have been for her to live to 98 in that state. Of course I wouldn't feel sorry for her. She deserves all of this. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. At 3 a.m., I came across a post on social media. The title read, What should I do if I've fallen for my 18-year-old landlady? First time I've lost sleep over a woman. I felt a wave of disgust, wondering what kind of arrogant man was acting up again, but when I clicked in to look, the woman was from Zhejiang, with long black hair, studying at a university in Wenzhou. The more I read the description, the more familiar it seemed. Wasn't that me? But my tenant was a short, chubby, unattractive uncle in his 30s. Just when I thought I was overthinking it, someone in the comments gave the poster advice: to pursue a woman, you need to take the initiative, ask her out first, at worst, trade 3 years in prison for a lifetime of trauma for her. Once she's pregnant, do you really think she won't stay with you? The OP quickly liked the comment. The next second, a new message popped up on my WeChat. It was from that tenant. Are you there? Seeing these 2 words, I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. But it seemed impossible for such a coincidence to happen, after all. That tenant had just moved in today and appeared to be quite an honest person. When showing him the apartment, he barely spoke the whole time, very introverted. He even signed the contract right away without any bargaining. Moreover, she's already in her 30s, a whole 12 years older than me. How could she possibly be interested in me? Thinking this, I couldn't help but shake my head, feeling I was being overly sensitive. What if she genuinely encountered some problem? So my fingers quickly tapped out a reply. What's up, uncle? The other side quickly showed, typing, but the message took a long time to come through. Nothing, just remembered I forgot to ask you about the utilities. I immediately felt much lighter. Turns out I was overthinking it. Electricity costs 1.2 yuan per kilowatt hour, and water is 4 yuan per ton. Usually there's no discount, but if you renew the lease next year, I can give you a better price. This is my usual pitch. After all, finding a long-term, stable tenant isn't easy. But the other person never replied again. Maybe they fell asleep. I took another glance at that post. Most people were just lurking, waiting for updates, so before bed, I casually hit the bookmark button too. I sighed inwardly, wondering which unlucky girl would catch that poster's eye. The next morning, as soon as I woke up, I saw a message from that older guy. Little sis, thanks for taking the trouble to show me the apartment. You don't need to treat me specially. I'm fine with being treated like everyone else. Covering mouth laughing. Let's hang out tomorrow and grab a casual meal. Rose. For some reason, that comment from yesterday suddenly popped back into my head, talking about taking the initiative, asking someone out and getting them pregnant. Just hearing that scared me awake. I quickly turned it down, saying, I don't have time to go out. I'm heading back to school soon. The other person didn't press further and just replied with an okay. Only then did I feel slightly relieved. After brushing my teeth and washing my face, I planned to head downstairs for breakfast. I didn't expect to run into that tenant Jingdong again as soon as I stepped out. When Jingdong saw me, his chubby cheek squinted into slits as he grinned. Morning, little sis, you're heading out for breakfast, aren't you? I just moved here and don't know my way around yet. How about showing your big brother around? Although he looked honest, with a round and gentle appearance just like my dad, and didn't seem like a bad person, but after coming across that post yesterday, I still felt a bit uneasy inside, so I shook my head and declined him politely yet distantly. No thanks, uncle, I've got some things to take care of, so it might not be convenient. Why don't you go by yourself? There are only a few shops around here. I deliberately emphasized the word uncle to highlight our age difference, while also testing him a bit. If he was the one who posted that thread, he definitely wouldn't give up harassing me, but after I rejected Jingdong, his expression didn't change at all. He just kept smiling with narrowed eyes. All right, you go ahead with your work. I'll just wander around and get familiar with the place myself. But you should still have breakfast. Young girls like you usually enjoy yogurt, right? I bought 2 bottles. Take one. Don't stand on ceremony with me. You worked hard yesterday too. After saying that, Jingdong casually stuffed it into my arms. It was still warm. Seeing his enthusiasm, I couldn't bring myself to refuse, treating it as an elder's care for a younger person. Only after watching him walk away did I buy some steamed buns and mantou, then retreated to my room to eat. While eating, I opened social media again, curious about the latest updates on that post. Sure enough, the OP updated again, an hour ago, updating everyone on the basic situation between me and the landlord's sister. Good news is coming soon. We're a perfect match. She's gorgeous, and well, let's just say she's 1.65 meters tall, I'm 1.6 meters, she's sweet looking, and I resemble Du Chun. My annual income is 30, enough for her to spend freely. I have a house in the village to shelter her from wind and rain. Yesterday I wanted to ask her out, but she seemed very shy. What should I do next? Reading this, I almost laughed. 30,000 yuan to spend freely. Can a shabby thatched hut really keep out wind and rain? Sure enough, some netizens in the comments section went even further, directly roasting him. Are you sure she was shy and not scared? You're a 33-year-old man, while she's 18 and in the prime of youth. You're from a poor rural area, while she's a second-generation rich kid from a prosperous region. You're barely over 5 feet tall, while she can look down at your balding head in heels. She's young and beautiful, while you're just a swollen-faced Shiman Qing beaten by Wusong. Where on earth did you get such courage? Even Fish Liang wouldn't dare give it to you. Reading these words from righteous people, I felt incredibly refreshed inside. I was just about to take a bite of my steamed bun when the OP's reply left me dumbfounded. What do you know? She has feelings for me, though she's youthful. I'm also a gentleman of modest demeanor. She took the initiative to show me kindness, offering to reduce my utility bills. I insisted on not receiving special treatment and declined her offer. If this isn't love, then what is? Upon checking his IP address, it turned out we were in the exact same location. As much as I hate to admit it, there's a high probability that the original poster is indeed Jingdong, but I clearly only said there was a discount for renewal. How did it turn into having feelings for him and voluntarily reducing his utility bills? Now I'm so disgusted I've lost my appetite for breakfast. I can only keep scrolling through the comments to see what else he said. Many people in the comments section mocked him, saying his conditions were like a toad lusting after a swan's flesh. But Jingdong refuted every single one of them. No matter what others said, he always maintained his self-satisfaction. He even claimed that when I showed him the apartment, my 3 smiles were intentional flirtation. If I weren't interested in him, why smile at him then? Why not smile at someone else? Oh my God, I was just being polite. I couldn't exactly scowl at him, could I? Just thinking about his 5 feet 3 inches height and 180-pound weight makes me furious. I could only violently stab open the yogurt with a straw, wanting to vent the anger in my heart, but accidentally, I touched a sticky liquid around the edge of the box. An ominous feeling instantly washed over me, bringing it close to my nose for a sniff. I almost gagged. With a nervous heart, I continued searching for answers in the comments section. At this moment, I saw a comment posted by someone with the ID, "Peace and joy, this kind of woman is just pretending to be innocent. If she won't go out with you, she's playing hard to get. You could observe her more, create some chance encounters or something. It's best to let her get familiar with your scent, give her some surprises. It'll make becoming family easier later." This peace and joy person's words are full of sexual innuendo. The male stench is just too strong. Netizens below roasted her with 99+ comments, but she didn't care at all. She kept relentlessly egging Jingdong on, urging him to take some action. If I recall correctly, it was also her who made that comment about getting someone pregnant. If her profile didn't state she was female, I'd seriously think she was cut from the same cloth as those vile men. Just as I was silently cursing her in my mind, Jingdong's reply made me even more furious. "Thanks to the kind soul for the advice/fist bump. This morning I followed your suggestion and waited outside her door." Although the young lady couldn't suppress her feelings for me in her heart, she still appeared shy and reserved on the surface. I seized the opportunity to present her with countless descendants as a meeting gift. Once she drinks that thing, she'll know just how intensely I've been thinking of her all night. Pinyin Sheila replied with a laughing while covering mouth emoji, praising him for doing a good job. After reading it, I felt extremely conflicted. Countless descendants, so, that jar of yogurt contained. Once I realized, I immediately threw the yogurt 3 meters away and washed my hands 10 times with disinfectant. Isn't this just pure sexual harassment? I originally wanted to directly message Jingdong and give him a good scolding, but after opening the chat box, I thought of some incidents reported in the news. Usually, guys like them, who are so average yet so confident, tend to have some psychological issues. If I were to directly confront him about this matter and hurt his pride, who knows what crazy things he might do next. Besides, my parents are both on business trips recently, and it's dangerous for me to be home alone, so I had no choice but to go and tell my mom about the situation. Upon learning that I was being harassed, my mother was furious, but since we had signed a contract, it wasn't appropriate to suddenly kick him out without evidence. So she subtly sent Jingdong a few warning messages. "Young man, if you have any matters in the future, you can come to me. My daughter is about to start school soon and won't have time. Her dad said she's too young for puppy love at her age, or he'll break her legs. Look at you, you're not getting any younger, with no house or car. Why aren't you finding a girlfriend yet? If nothing else works, your sister can introduce someone to you. Zheng Dong replied quickly, no need, auntie, I'm at the age of youthful vigor, don't worry, I won't disturb your daughter's studies. I'll just admire her grace from afar. Although his reply was completely off topic, my mother and I figured, any normal person should understand what we meant. After all, some things are better left unsaid, but obviously, we still underestimated Zheng Dong's shamelessness. That night, he posted another new thread asking for help. My mother-in-law took the initiative to show me goodwill. How should I negotiate the bride price? He even attached screenshots of his chat history with my mom, claiming she was very satisfied with him. I was so angry I almost passed out, so I left a comment with my alt account. Is it possible that she was just trying to politely reject you? Guess how her mom found out you were harassing her? Clearly, the girl didn't want to talk to you anymore. If you don't have a mirror at home, surely you've got urine, right? Go take a look at yourself. But Zheng Dong wouldn't be discouraged in the slightest and replied directly to me. What do you know? She deliberately had her mother come to me. Which means she's developed feelings for me. Otherwise, why would her mother hint around, trying to find out if I'm single? I'm an outstanding person, and quite a few girls pursue me. If you're deliberately trying to get my attention, you're miscalculating. I'm very loyal. After typing this long paragraph, he even attached a selfie. However, he does have some self-awareness, knowing many people criticize him, so he didn't dare show his face. He only dared to flaunt his belly, which looked at least 8 months pregnant. Sure enough, another wave of mockery flooded the comments, saying that being liked by someone like him was practically a criminal record. They advised him to find a job if he had nothing better to do, and to stop harassing young girls. Just as I was thoroughly enjoying reading those scathing comments, Ping and Shili's remark sent a chill down my spine. The duck that was almost in your mouth is about to fly away, and you're still secretly gloating. Her mom already said school's starting soon. With so many guys around, who knows when she might hook up with someone else, if she's gonna get slept with sooner or later. You might as well take her virginity tonight, once it's a done deal. We won't pay a single cent in bride price. Let's see who'd still want a used goods like her. I took a deep breath. What kind of twisted mind could come up with such a vile scheme? I bear no grudge against her, yet she seems determined to ruin my life. A minute later, Zheng Dong liked her comment and replied with a thumbs up. A sudden sense of foreboding came over me. Given his erratic behavior, he might actually be capable of doing something like that, so I hurriedly packed some clothes overnight, ready to move into the school dormitory. But just as I touched the doorknob, the door was violently knocked on. From outside came Zheng Dong's cold and creepy voice. Little sister, are you there? I heard noises coming from your room. Where are you going so late at night? It startled me so much I almost dropped my suitcase, but upon second thought, he probably doesn't know I've seen the post yet, so I need to stay calm and not let him notice anything. I deliberately played dumb, adopting a tone of feigned ignorance. Not going anywhere. What noise? You must have misheard. Is something wrong, uncle? I'm about to sleep. After speaking, I quickly dialed the emergency number and sent my location over. The police would take another 10 minutes to arrive, so I had to stall for time as much as possible. Zheng Dong fell silent for a moment, somewhat skeptical. Not going anywhere. Fine then, bro. I need to talk to you about something. Open the door first. I gripped the door handle tightly, afraid he might break in. Let's talk about it tomorrow. It's too late now. My parents are downstairs, and they'll scold me if they see I'm still awake. I thought saying this would at least serve as a warning to Zheng Dong, making him back off when he saw the difficulty. But unexpectedly, his emotions became even more intense. You're lying to me. Your parents went on a business trip a couple of days ago. Why are you lying? Are you just thinking about going to school to fool around with those wild men? How can you be so shameless? Open the door. Hurry up and open the door. A woman should stay at home and guard her chastity. Do you understand? After saying this, he started banging even harder. Bang bang, and tried to twist my doorknob. His shouting left me stunned, and my temper flared up. What nonsense about fooling around or preserving my virtue. It's as if I've betrayed him. But we've only known each other for 3 days and barely exchanged a few words. What I do has nothing to do with him. I clenched my fists, ready to fire back, but Zheng Dong, that madman, actually raised an axe and started smashing the door. I was so scared that I swallowed my words. He's not in his right mind now, and if I provoke him, I'll be the one to suffer. Besides, the security door in my house is pretty sturdy. It would take him some time to break it down. Thinking this way, I decided not to say anything and pretended to be dead. A few minutes later, Jingdong's violent knocking abruptly ceased. I waited for quite a while, and only when I was sure there was no more sound did I dare to peek through the peephole. It was pitch black outside, not a single soul in sight. Had he given up? Just as I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, suddenly, there was a click. The window was opened. Oh no! How could I forget to close the window? Jingdong's head peeked in from outside, his eyes narrowing into slits with laughter. Little sister, you're not being good, you're clearly inside. Why aren't you saying anything? Big brother is going to have to punish you properly. In the dead of night, he suddenly jumped out, just like a ghost. I was so scared that I fell flat on my face. My heart almost jumped out of my chest. You, what are you doing? This is trespassing. It's illegal. If you dare to come in again, I won't be polite. I groped around and could only pick up a pitifully small fruit knife from the table to point at him. Perhaps the tears in the corners of my eyes stirred Jingdong's protective instincts toward women. While leaning against the window, he frantically waved his hands. Little sister, don't be afraid. I'm the kind of guy who cherishes women and can't stand to see girls cry. You're about to start school soon, and there are so many wild boys there. What if someone tricks you? Brother doesn't mean anything else. I'm just concerned about you. Anyway, you'll eventually be slept with by someone. Might as well let your brother give you a taste of what it's like to be a woman first. Jingdong's face still looked honest and kind, but the words coming out of his mouth grew more shameless with each sentence. Still insisting on playing the devoted lover role. It's making me sick. I glanced at the time out of the corner of my eye. The police would arrive in about 3 minutes. Before then, I needed to find a way to stall him. Judging from Jingdongfa's posts and his reaction just now, he probably has feelings for me. All I can rely on is his so-called soft spot for women. Dongji, please don't do this. I'm scared. Could you climb down from the window first? I'm not mentally prepared yet. Tomorrow, I promise I'll give you an answer tomorrow. As I spoke, I shakily put down the fruit knife and pretended to wipe away tears. Jingdong had one leg dangling out the window, unable to go up or down. He looked at me with suspicion in his eyes. Tomorrow, will you still be here tomorrow, bro? I'm afraid I won't see you tomorrow. Only by becoming my woman can I truly feel at ease. I gave him a flirtatious glance and cooed in a sweet voice. Oh, stop it actually. I'm just feeling a little nervous. Besides, I'm still in my pajamas and without makeup. I'd be too embarrassed to be seen like this. How about you go downstairs first, and I'll open the door after changing clothes. Hearing my words, Jingdonghuan's soul almost left his body. He quickly rubbed his hands together, revealing a meaningful expression. Brother understands. You little girls always care about looks. Women dress up for those who appreciate them. Since you have feelings for me too, then I'm not in a hurry right now. Little sister, I'll be waiting for you. Remember to dress sexy, preferably with black stockings and a bodycon skirt. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a pervert. It's just that I only have feelings for you. With that, his short legs flipped over, and he jumped out of the window again. I agreed verbally just fine, but the moment he left, I immediately closed and locked the window. Jingdong didn't notice anything amiss and was still eagerly waiting outside the door. Little sis, are you ready yet? Should I take off my pants first? As soon as he finished speaking, I heard the rustling sound of clothes being removed, but what he eagerly awaited wasn't me. It was the wail of police sirens. At first, Jingdong stood frozen in place, momentarily stunned. By the time the officers rushed over with stern expressions, he hadn't even managed to pull up his pants. All he could do was raise his hands high in surrender, offering an ingratiating smile. Officer, this is a misunderstanding. Really, I'm a good person. I haven't done anything illegal. I was just joking around with my girlfriend. Little sister, come out quickly and explain. Seizing the opportunity, I directly opened the door, crying my eyes out with snot and tears streaming down my face. Uncle policeman, it's him. He's a pervert. He's been stalking me recently. Look. He even smashed my door. The axe is still right there, in the middle of the night, not even wearing pants, harassing me at my doorstep. Arrest him now. Jingdong, holding up his pants in disbelief, pointed at me. Little sister, what are you talking about? Didn't you say you'd come out after changing clothes? That's not how it is. Officer, I'm innocent. I never harassed her. She was the one who seduced me. If you've got the guts, show me the evidence. Don't slander me. I shrugged and went straight back to my room to fetch the yogurt he had given me. This is the evidence of him harassing me. Officer, just have it tested and you'll know, because I found this thing disgusting. I specifically wore 10 layers of disposable gloves. Now Jingdong got exactly what he asked for, losing all his strength and tricks. All he could do was glare at me with furious eyes. To be honest, I'm feeling a bit shaken afterward. But honestly, there really wasn't a better way to handle today's situation. After giving my statement, the police let me come back first. As for Jingdong, the police said since there were no substantial actions, they couldn't sentence him either. He could only be detained for 10 days and fined 500 yuan for stalking and harassment. As I was leaving, the police officer advised me to take this opportunity to move out quickly and protect myself. They would also warn Jingdong that the consequences would be severe if he offended again. The next day, I told my parents and moved back to live at school. After all, there are many people at school, so I doubt he'd dare to cause trouble for me in public. For safety reasons, my parents also chose to move to another house. As for the rental contract with Jingdong, it was simply voided. I originally thought that after this lesson, Jingdong would behave himself once he got out. I've been keeping an eye on that post too, but there haven't been any updates since. Little did I expect that half a month later, I'd suddenly receive an anonymous package. Inside was a set of revealing lingerie. The moment I opened it, my roommates all looked at me with teasing eyes. Oh, when did our aloof beauty get herself a boyfriend? Even picked out clothes for him, yet didn't bother introducing us. But I turned a deaf ear, swiftly unlocking my phone instead. Sure enough, Jingdong's profile had been updated again. This time he posted a new thread with just 4 words, "I'm back." I suspect this was deliberately meant for me to see. After what happened last time, he should have some idea that I'd be checking his posts. Under the new post, that "peace and joy" person came to join the fun again. "How's it going, bro? Did you manage to get that little flirt? Let me tell you, persistent pursuit wins over a lovesick girl. If you still can't get her, just keep pestering her relentlessly. The best approach is to make her life so difficult she can't function normally. See if she panics then." Jingdong replied to her as quickly as ever, "Got it, /fist bump." I clenched my fists in anger. This "peace and joy" was nothing but a troublemaker, yet she was separated from me by nothing but an internet connection, completely out of reach. All I could do was silently screenshot her comments as evidence for later. After agonizing over it for a long time, I finally told my roommates about the whole thing, starting from that bizarre confession post, to the yogurt incident and the late-night harassment. Everyone was indignant on my behalf, but since Jingdong hadn't actually caused me any real harm, even if I reported it to the police, he'd probably just get detained again. So everyone agreed that the best way to deal with someone like him was to give him a taste of his own medicine. I thought it made sense and began quietly plotting my countermeasures. After that day, Jingdong himself didn't show up again, probably afraid of getting caught once more. Instead, he sent me bizarre things every day to disgust me. Sometimes it's underwear, panties, black stockings, and sometimes used condoms, until one time, along with the items he sent me, there was a mysterious little card attached. Suddenly, a brilliant idea flashed through my mind. Since he enjoys harassing others so much, why not let him experience what it feels like to be harassed? This time, I took the initiative to send Jingdong the first WeChat message. "Brother Dong, do you want to see me wear this outfit?" Along with the message, I attached a picture of sexy lingerie. Jingdong replied almost instantly, "You little brat, since when were you so kind-hearted? What trick are you trying to pull now?" I sent an apologetic sticker over and replied, "Brother Dong, I really didn't mean it last time. You know how it is, my dad won't let me date so young, but after all this time, I've realized I still can't get you out of my mind. Brother Dong, you're so manly and charming, you've completely captivated me. Can you forgive me this time?" Jingdong hesitated for a long time before replying with a sunglasses-wearing cool guy emoji. "It's only natural that you'd fall for me. Alright, I forgive you, even though many people pursue me. You're the only one I'll spoil/rose." Seeing how quickly he took the bait, I seized the moment to keep the conversation going. As we chatted, the topic shifted to that outfit. Jingdong sent a flirtatious emoji, saying he wanted to see me wear it in person. I immediately replied with a shy emoji, "Dongji, I want to see you wear it first. As long as you wear it, we'll go on a date this week." Jingdong lost himself in my promise and quickly agreed to the request. But the moment his photo was sent over, I immediately posted it in a gay bar, with the caption, "Peerless little bottom, waiting for big brother to pamper." In the photo, Jingdong's gaze appears dazed, several large rolls of fat squeezed together, yet it didn't hinder his coquettish posing in the slightest. Soon, several comments appeared beneath the post. Some inquired about the price, while others wanted to make appointments. but most chose to wait and see, with a grand gesture. I decisively wrote down 2 words, free, in an instant. Jingdong became highly sought after. Many netizens have been sending me private messages, wanting to schedule a time for an in-depth conversation with him. While I marveled at everyone's bold tastes, I suppressed my disgust and showered Jingdong with a bunch of flattery. This made him so delighted that he couldn't wait to showcase his charm immediately. In the end, we agreed to meet at 10 p.m. on Sunday night in room 438 of a certain hotel. Jingdong eagerly put on that sexy outfit and waited for me. He kept sending me photos to harass me. "Little sister, your brother is already burning with desire, just waiting for you to come." I quickly replied to him, "Don't worry, you won't be thirsty soon." After saying that, I directly posted the address of that hotel on the forum. Then I immediately blocked Jingdong. As for whether anyone went that night or how many people went, I have no idea. The next day, Jingdong came straight to my school gate. He limped along, clutching his buttocks, his face bruised and swollen. Clearly, he'd been through quite an ordeal. When he saw me, Jingdong was extremely agitated. He tried to straighten up to speak, but the pain in his backside made him yelp loudly. I could only point at you with a trembling hand and curse, "You damn bitch, how dare you trick me? Do you know what I went through last night? 4 or 5 guys shoving bottles and whipping me all night without stopping. My ass is practically blooming. What the hell were you thinking? Now you've got me surrounded by a bunch of gays. Just you wait and see." I shrugged my shoulders and retorted with his own words, looking utterly innocent, "How can you say it's my fault? Isn't it you who deliberately tempted them? Why aren't they bothering anyone else but only sticking to you?" Men should sometimes reflect more on their own issues and understand the importance of shame. Anyway, you'll end up sleeping with someone sooner or later. What's the difference who it's with? Stop pretending to be some chaste martyr. Jingdong was even more furious, to the point where he probably wanted to climb over the wall and beat me up. I calmly took out my phone and dialed 110 on the keypad. "There are security guards inside the school and police outside. I advise you to give up. I've kept all those suspicious packages. If you harass or harm me again, let's see who ends up getting arrested." Perhaps because my stance was firm enough, Jingdong grimaced for a while. He still chose to slink away in disgrace. The post I made in the gay bar continues to stir up reactions, with many people eager to have a taste of Jingdong. As a result, I didn't see him again for the next few months. I guess he must have been stalked, harassed, and entangled by others too, leaving him no time to bother with me. But Jingdong didn't stop there. On a calm and uneventful night, he posted another new thread, directly thrusting me into the eye of the storm. The title of that post was, "Delivering Takeout, Scammed Out of All My Savings by a Gold Digger. Just Let Me Die." The accompanying photo showed him standing on a rooftop, tears streaming down his face. It must be said that Jingdong has the face of an honest man, and it really does look convincing, this time. He abandoned his original account that had been thoroughly criticized. Instead, he created a new account, crafting a persona of a deceived, honest man. According to his own account, he was a hard-working delivery guy. After delivering food to me a few times, I actively seduced him, and we ended up together. But during our relationship, apart from asking him for money, I never got close to him. I also refused to publicly acknowledge our relationship to friends. I didn't mercilessly dump him until I had drained all of his savings. I have to say, this persona is truly despicable and bound to attract criticism. The lies are so absurd they almost make me laugh. He even posted our conversations in the thread, taking them out of context. He selectively shared snippets where I praised him or asked him for rent money, creating the illusion that we were in a romantic relationship. Then they released various large transfer records, claiming I was a gold-digging woman. I zoomed in for a closer look. Wasn't this just photoshopped rent and deposit receipts? 5,000 was altered to 500,000, 2,000 to 200,000. The key point is, those netizens actually believed it and started sympathizing with Jingdong Lai. Plus, he shared the rooftop's location coordinates, which quickly garnered widespread attention. A large number of netizens spontaneously went to find him, urging him not to jump. Many even started live broadcasts from the scene. In the footage, Jingdong was in utter despair, crying so hard that his face was covered in tears and snot. "Thank you, you're all good people, but it's too late now. Just let me die. After breaking up with her, I've lost everything. I'll never trust women again in this lifetime. Only death can truly set me free." His shifty eyes kept staring straight at the camera as he milked his misery for all it was worth. It wasn't until the police had set up the safety net that he finally made a show of jumping down. I hadn't taken this far seriously at all, pure clown behavior, but unexpectedly, with the hype from various marketing accounts the next day, I actually got blasted onto the trending list. In the eyes of netizens, I became the #1 heartbreaker. The labels of gold digger, social climber, and ungrateful wretch clung to me like glue. By the time I was ready to post a clarification and explain the situation, it was already too late. None of those netizens believed a word I said, and they mocked me. This woman just won't repent and still tries to make excuses. Do you think we can't tell if the images are photoshopped? What a joke, treating everyone like fools. If they weren't truly hurt, who would gamble with their life? She jumped off a building for you. And you're still lying, if you've got the guts. Go die too, then we'll believe you. This guy clearly looks honest. Delivering food isn't easy, and you'd scam him out of money. Can't you make a living? My phone number and address were exposed, and I faced daily harassment. Even my parents suffered because of it. Someone splashed red paint on our home and wrote, "Death to the whole family," on the walls. My parents were too scared to even step outside, afraid they'd be chased and harassed the moment they left. With no other options, I had no choice but to contact Jingdong again. What do you want? What will it take for you to leave my family alone? Jingdong replied instantly as usual, as if he had been staring at his phone waiting for me to give in. Little sis, wouldn't it have been better if you'd done this earlier? My feelings for you have never changed. You know what I want/naughty. After saying this, he even sent over a smug emoji wearing sunglasses. I took a deep breath. I'd endured so many harassments before, but this time it affected my family, and I truly couldn't take it anymore. Since he used cyber weapons against me, I'll make sure he tastes the bitterness of public disgrace too. I roughly outlined a plan and then arranged to meet Jingdong, preparing to have a detailed discussion with him at a coffee shop. During this period, riding on his popularity, he has been live streaming and selling products, with many netizens even donating to him spontaneously. The money he's earned has long exceeded hundreds of thousands, and he's been riding high on success. So this time when he came to see me, he deliberately flaunted his gold watch and gold chain to show off. Anyone who didn't know better would think he was some nouveau riche who'd struck it rich overnight. I didn't dare show my disdain too openly, so I just kept my head bowed meekly. Then I handed him a cup of coffee. Brother Dong, I was wrong. I was really wrong. All the mistakes before were mine. Please don't drag my parents into this. Okay, I'll admit to whatever you want. I'll do anything for you, even be your servant. As I spoke, my voice gradually choked with sobs. To lower his guard, I even deliberately dressed more seductively today. Jingdong leered at me with a lascivious gaze, his yellow teeth fully exposed in a grin. Little sister, why must you be like this? I told you from the start. Sooner or later you'd be mine. If only you'd been more obedient, now you wouldn't have to suffer online bullying, nor would your parents have to endure this torment. As he spoke, he even raised his hand to try and take advantage of me. I quickly dodged nimbly and then put on a fawning smile. Dongji, we haven't resolved this matter yet. I've already been scolded so badly by everyone. Will they still forgive me? And what about my parents? Jingdong scoffed disdainfully with a toothpick dangling from his mouth. That's easy. I'll just post a video saying it was all a misunderstanding. Actually, you didn't abandon me. You were just sick and didn't want to burden me. We're truly in love. Then your parents never found out about this. They're innocent. When the time comes, we'll post more videos showing off our love, get a cat or dog, have a baby, given enough time. Who'll even remember this trivial matter? Looking at his confident, strategic expression, it doesn't seem like something his intelligence level could pull off, so I turned my head to glance at the vase in the coffee shop and continued fishing for information. Dongji, you're really amazing. How did you come up with this idea? I'm so impressed by you. You actually fabricated a delivery guy identity and even framed the rent as money spent on me. Clearly, it's you who's been persistently harassing me. Aren't you afraid of the netizens finding out the truth? Jingdong wore a smug expression as he pulled me into his arms. You little minx, now you know how strong your man is, don't you? Actually, this idea wasn't mine. It was all taught to me by Ping and Shilu. She said the combination of a delivery guy and a gold digger would make the most sensational topic. I'll fake suicide again. And then you won't be able to clear your name even if you jump into the Yellow River. This method really works. Those netizens are like fools, dancing to my tune. They believe whatever I say. Ha ha ha. As he spoke, he couldn't resist showing me his private messages with Ping and Shilu. Trembling with anger, I slapped him hard across the face. Shameless, why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? You think you're worthy of me. It's like a toad chasing a frog. ugly but full of tricks. Seeing my sudden change of expression, Zheng Dong was still somewhat baffled. You dare hit me? Don't you believe I can have netizens tear you apart online? I sneered and pulled out the phone hidden in the vase that was live streaming. Guess who they're going to bash now? After this incident, Zheng Dong's reputation suffered a severe backlash. His previous stalking and harassment of me were also exposed, drawing widespread condemnation from netizens, including that alt account he used to post a love confession in the middle of the night, which got reported and directly banned. But just ruining his reputation is still letting him off too easy. I also handed over all those disgusting packages he previously sent me to the police. This time, I'm not just suing him for harassment, I'm also pressing charges for intentional defamation. Just the fact that he deliberately incited online violence is enough to sentence him to 2 or 3 years. Netizens who previously donated money to him also felt deceived. They collectively joined forces to sue him for fraud, with the involved amount reaching as high as 500 yuan. After an investigation, the police confirmed that the charges were valid. Under the combined punishment for multiple offenses, Zheng Dong was directly sentenced to 15 years in prison. This time, he's truly going to rot behind bars. On the day he was handcuffed, countless netizens came to witness the moment. The red paint that was once splashed at my doorstep was now entirely splattered across his disgusting face. Even the police officers showed disdain for Zheng Dong, turning a blind eye to his plight. As for Ping and Sheila, of course I wouldn't let her off either. I provided all the screenshots I had previously collected and the chat records from Zheng Dong's phone to the police. After all, Zheng Dong's crime was largely thanks to her efforts. Finally, the police traced the digital trail to her home and arrested her as well. I had imagined many times what kind of person she might be, but when I actually saw her, I couldn't help but feel a bit emotional. She looked utterly ordinary, her face weathered and her figure altered. Already a mother of 2 children, it's said that she was once a victim too. Her husband stalked and harassed her, got her pregnant, and she was eventually forced into marriage, becoming a housewife. I don't understand. Since we've suffered similar fates, why does she hate me so much, even to the point of ruining me? But Ping and Sheila just looked at me coldly, her face expressionless. Does hating someone need a reason? We're all women. Why should I have to marry a rapist? Why should I have to bear 2 children? If I can't have a good life, then none of you bitches will either. I shook my head. Having experienced certain things is indeed terrifying, but we don't necessarily have to resign ourselves to fate. We can still protect ourselves, and we can still start over, but when a person's mind becomes imprisoned, that's when there's truly no hope left. Later, I also created a social media account. Apart from sharing daily life, I occasionally also popularize some legal knowledge. I hope to use my words to let more people know women can also possess strength. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.